There we go. So we are live, ladies and gentlemen, and it is one more episode of the Ingrid and Lou Show coming at you. Yes, the wait is over.
So
the summer
we are
hiatus
live,
is
ladies
over.
and gentlemen, and it is one more episode of the Ingrid and Lou Show coming at you. Yes, the wait.
Okay, there we go. Apologies. Yeah, got that. Got that now. Okay, Ingrid, how are you, darling?
I'm amazing, Lou. How are you, sweetheart?
I'm good. And you're in one of my favorite places on the planet, Arizona.
Yes, I am. It is so sunny. So much sun.
Sunglasses.
I know. I need the glasses that go dark. Although I don't like wearing sunglasses, to be honest.
I'm telling you, you will not survive Arizona without getting a pair of shades, my friend. It is. Yeah, believe me. Every time I would walk out the door, I was grabbing my shades, living in Arizona for a year.
Yeah, it's bright. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you lived here for a year? Oh, okay.
Yes. I was there in 2000.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yes. So we've been having a great catch up. Thank you again. And and I'm still here in lovely Ireland. There's clear sky out there tonight, which is great.
Yay.
Yes. March, there's more of me to love at this point. Let's put it that way.
Oh, honey, you and I are having the same experience. I went up a pant size and I went, that's what we're doing. Okay.
look at that, will you? Where did that come from?
Oh my, well, that's the result of a lot of stress over the last year. I mean, it's been really intense, and we've all been, I think we were just talking about this, we've been in freaking survival mode. And so that's part of survival mode, I think, is puffing up a little bit, because you don't, when you're in survival mode, your brain doesn't know when you're going to get your next meal.
There's that. That's a good excuse. Well, I'll tell you, my new flat here, the best window in the house is in the kitchen. This is the most daylight in the whole place. Yes. Yeah. So I cleverly moved my 2-seater into the kitchen table there. So, it's all in here. Yes.
Yes.
So,
good.
Yes.
Yeah. More light. We need more light. Always more light.
And more snacks, evidently. That seems to be how it's out.
Well, you know what? I love the term "more of you to love." That's just it. More to love.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful you do. So we were talking about all the changes that are happening, hun, in our lives, of course, and in the world in general. And we're mentioning that the Sunday, the 11th of April, we just had the new moon in Aries, and now everything is shifted out of. Everything is shifted out of Pisces and being retrograde to now all the 6 planets going direct, the personal ones, and Aries. And you're mad for Aries. So tell us your take on the new energies here, if you would.
Well, first of all, I am an Aries sun, so I just had a birthday. So Aries is my jam. I could really feel that. I don't pay too much attention to astrology. And the reason for that is because I'm a channel and I don't want too many talking heads inside my head. So I kind of have blinders on when it comes to what is going on in the stars. If it comes across my purview, then it's okay, I'm meant to see this, and then I can build on that. But what's really been coming home to me so strongly is this is a time, it is a time for action, but it's a time for action from a place of presence. We really have to work on bringing our energy back in, pulling our cords back in to just stop focusing out here in the future, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. It's not a paradigm. It's not that paradigm anymore. I'm really, as we're sort of, a year ago, we popped into this new earth, and it's an amazing time to be alive, right? But it's energy we're all getting used to, because we're all coming from this paradigm of stress and scarcity and fighting and competition. And this energy, it's not like that, but we're still dragging those habits in, so many of us, where we're fighting, we're figuring out how we're going to survive, we're living in scarcity, we're not trusting the universe. But what Spirit is really talking to me about is, if we can just reel that energy in, and it's easier than it's ever been in this paradigm. Everything spiritual, every practice we've ever had is easier than it's ever been. And if we pull it into our body and we just get really present, then that action we do take is really powerful. And we don't have to have a 5-year plan. Like, it's just what feels right now. And Aries is really good at that, because Aries is the one on the zodiac. It's a baby, right? It's really good at instigating and inspiring. It's taking it across the finish line that can be more of a challenge, but that's okay, because I feel like that's really conducive, with the new energy that we live in. It's an energy of unity and community and bolstering, lifting each other up, and trusting and being in the moment and present and love. And when we practice that and pay attention to that, it gets so easy.
Yeah.
It gets so easy.
Yeah.
It's only the habit of future tripping and projecting our fear.
Yeah.
It's just a habit. It's not a reality of this paradigm like maybe it has been in the past. How do you feel about that?
No, that's brilliant, honey. I love that. I mean, that's right. That's I feel the same. That I was mentioning friends dying, friends getting sick, people that I'm connected with, knowing people getting arrested. I mean, it's like, wow, some really intense stuff, happening. And in my own story, the fire in my house three months ago, and learning to live in the moment on the other side of those experiences, and to receive, support and kindness from other people and generosity, and to be very present, and to just like you've been saying, give myself the time and space and permission to be very real and very authentic, and integrate what's unfolding and process it and all of that. And yes, I think that, I know there's blessings in all of this, that everyone's going through, and what I've been experiencing as well. The challenge, like we're saying, is to be willing to look for that, and to be open to receive whatever that might be,
Yeah, it's really a lot of work to get present. I mean, it really is. Like, the mind does not want to let you go there. It wants to be out, freaking out. And it's just, the hard work is in getting present. But once you're there, everything falls into place. Everything makes sense. You start to understand how things are working for you, like for you. You start to see it really clearly. It becomes not theoretical, but real visceral, real fast.
Practical.
The hard work is reeling it back in, coming into the heart. But it's also, you're talking about, I mean, so much change in our world, and so much change for everybody personally. I know I'm coming off a 6-month ride myself, where, what we were talking about earlier is I've been in that sort of survival mode and fight or flight. And I ran away to the desert, to settle into that, which I highly recommend for anybody who's been struggling. If you're able to do that, run away to the desert, the ocean, wherever it feels good to you, and let yourself just be. It's really a gift to be able to do that. And I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
But the intensity that we're experiencing, I feel like it's really helpful to understand that this is like shaking off what's no longer an energetic match for this new reality we live in. And that's happening on the micro in our personal lives, and it's happening in the macro in our world. The intensity, the chaos, I'm trying to swear less, so I won't use that word.
That's empowering. I support that, sweetheart. I think that's very empowering of you.
And it's but it's like everything. It's like, think of it as like shaking dirt clods off of a rock.
Sure.
It's shaking up because it's shaking away what's not a match. And the best thing we can do to support releasing energy that is not a match for love and unity in this golden age is to surrender to the shakeup, to not try and control it or manage it or hang on to it. The more we're able to surrender, the faster we're going to move into
what's next,
into the really beautiful experience that those of us who are sensitive and paying attention, if we push through the noise, we can feel it. We can hang on to it. But that noise is really intense. It's really intense.
Beautiful, honey. I mean, this is the fourth conversation that I've either witnessed or been a part of in the last 2 days, where, you know, we're talking about energy, experiencing it, perceiving it, respecting it, honoring
Beautiful.
it. Yeah. Being aware of it as a factor in what's unfolding, not just the story, or our agendas or our history or our programming, but like, what is the energy?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that you're talking about like discarding the story. And to the story, you know, the story is very seductive because it's like, well, but it happened. Yeah, it happened. It's still a story. You're still hanging on to a story just because it happened.
Yeah.
Diving underneath it into the energy is really powerful work. And you can do that with anything that has happened or is happening.
Yes. Well, now, isn't this part of your soulmatic work?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to chat about that for a minute here?
Oh, do I ever? I am on fire about soulmatic. I mean, you know, I've been working on soulmatic work myself for a couple of years, and the transformation, the inner transformation that I have gone through is just in this really gentle but profound and remarkably quick way, has just astounded me. And I get to see my students go through these incredible transformations and change their lives. And it's a very simple, but you know, it takes a real commitment to do it, because again, the story is seductive. But essentially, soulmatic renewal is a healing process where we take the story, you know, whatever that is. Well, this happened to me. Well, this is my experience. Well, this is, you know, what they're thinking. This is, you know, the meaning I'm giving to a situation. Any kind of mental meaning that you're assigning to any experience is what we call a story. And the thing is, the story might be true or it might not be true, but that's irrelevant. And the seductive part is, but it's true. So it's true. Okay. What we do is we take that story and kind of like put it over here. I call it putting it on a shelf.
Yeah.
And then we use the body as the container, as a conduit, as a way to access our stuck energy and stuck emotional experiences. Because what happens is this: the reason we get energy stuck in our body and emotions stuck in our body is we don't live it out in the moment that it's presented to us. And so that energy, that emotion, it never goes away. It dogs us in the form of our triggers and patterns and self-sabotaging behaviors. So if you're like, I always pull in this kind of relationship, or that person on Facebook made that comment and I had an over-the-top emotional response to it, that's a trigger. Those are patterns. And all we have to do is disconnect from the story and feel the feeling in the body without the mental component. And that clears away that stuck energy. And then the trigger goes away. The pattern dissipates. You start making decisions that serve you instead of sabotage you, because these stories, these triggers rather, are trying to get you back into the experience. The mind, the story, is trying to take you out of the experience because the ego is afraid of your expansion.
Beautiful.
It's that simple.
Yeah. I like it. That's great. Brilliant.
I like it too. Yeah.
It's true, hon. You know, all healing happens when we surrender to the emotion that has been resisted, judged, projected onto others, denied, disowned. You know, when you surrender back into it, as you're saying, and you feel safe enough, strong enough, and free enough to express that and to release that, then boom, you do come back to 0 point again. You come back.
Yeah, that's it. I love that. You come back to 0 point. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a great way to describe it. And you know, most people, most of us, myself included, it's not easy to go from the story to the emotion. It feels too dangerous. That's why I like using the body as a container. Okay, where is it physically in your body? Where do you physically feel this in your body? And then sink down from there. Yeah. And the other part of soulmatic renewal, the program that I run, is learning about our unique energetic signature, like how we tick, how we are meant to naturally move through life. Because so many of us are trying to live our life in a conditioned way. Like you have to get out there and make things happen and you know, initiate projects and wheel and deal. And, you know, everybody is wired really differently. So coming to understand we are naturally flow energetically is really powerful, because people can let go of these ideas that they have to be a certain way, and they can relax into being who they are, how they're wired. And that right there is really powerful, to practice just living as you are. And that part is really validating for most people, because people know who they are. They know how they're wired, but they don't trust themselves. They trust what their parents told them, what their culture's telling them, what the media has told them, what their teachers have told them, but nobody can know a person. Nobody can really know another person.
Right. Yeah.
You have to empower people to trust themselves. That's the work.
Yeah. It's living from the inside out rather than the outside in.
Yeah. And you know what that is? It's weirdly challenging to do that. It takes practice.
Well, Hun, you're defining, the granular focus of our consciousness as teachers and healers and channels. That this is where the rubber meets the road, where no matter what, we love our stories, and we get seduced by them, and we get validated by telling our stories, and this is this is part of the healing of 12 steps and group work and these kinds of safe spaces where you go, okay, tell me your story. Okay, great. Now we've heard your story. Now let's get on with what's really happening in your life, know?
Yes. Yeah. Playing with the story is a powerful piece. It's not something to be discounted. It's like we play with it, okay, there it is. We acknowledge it. We validate a lived experience. We don't tell you that your story doesn't mean anything. It does, but it will make you stuck if you stay in the story. You have to be willing to go underneath the story. Let the story go.
Yes. Sorry. It doesn't, we're not saying it doesn't mean anything. We're saying it doesn't mean everything. That's it. Yes. Doesn't mean everything. That's beautiful. Yeah. Right. And Hun, when there is this, we're in this death and birth process, and we feel it socially, in relationship, in our health, in stress, and our calm times. I've needed a lot of rest over the last few months. More than I ever would have imagined, And it's, after a while, it's just like, all right, I get up and I do a couple hours of meditations in the morning, and then I have a power nap in the afternoon. But it doesn't mean my day has been full of productive activities between either of those things as well. It just means that I this has been the cycle for me in this time, and like you being in the desert and having some space to yourself and coming back into your body in this way. It's the body and our feelings and our spirit are all there to teach us, but the story runs interference with that. It gets in the way. It distracts us from what's really important. Yes. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Letting go of the story is powerful work right there. If you just practice even questioning the story is powerful work. It really is that it? Oh, that's good. Yeah. Maybe it's not. Just questioning it. Right. Being open to a different interpretation. Thank you. Yeah. That's what words. You talked about needing a lot of rest with the energies of the last year. I've been noticing that my body is much more sensitive to what I put into it, or at least I'm noticing it. Like I've been having to be much more careful about what I eat. And what I put into my body, I've had, and that's just sort of getting more and more and more intense as time goes on. I was telling you backstage, I'm out here in the desert. I'm also putting a ton of focus on my body and what I'm eating. I'm like eating lots of vegetables and whole foods. I'm not eating out, part of the fun of traveling is like eating out and trying new foods, but my body is just going, don't you dare. And I think another symptom of that is like, we're talking about our bodies expanding. I went to buy some shorts because I was coming to Arizona. I was like, I need some shorts. I'm going to wear some shorts. I put on my regular size to try on. I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no. So I got the next size up and I was like, oh, that's much better. Okay. Yeah. That's where we are. Yeah. Yeah, not the end of the world. Okay.
But it's also, I believe, like it's my body revolting against any kind of junk that I'm putting in it. It's going, you will not, or there will be consequences. You cannot do this to us anymore. You cannot do this to me anymore. So
Sure.
learning to really honor that. And it's also a very grounding experience, I find. I'm somebody who has to work at being grounded. So focusing on my food and being really conscious about the food I'm putting in and more careful because I don't like the consequences for bad food has been a good grounding exercise for me.
Yeah, no, I love what you're saying. I mean, being, so my guides say the higher you want to go, the more grounded you need to be.
Yes.
And, as we know, what crisis does in these life-changing times of ours is it throws us back in on ourselves, and it forces us to slow down and pay attention to, like we're saying, what is the story? What is the script? What is the, where am I in alignment and where am I out of alignment? Where am I being true and where am I not being untrue, not clear, etc. So the more, meditation, prayer, fasting, exercise, eating well, being deliberate, solitude, we're both, the beneficiaries of a bit of solitude at the moment. And I was complaining about that, but it has its upside as well, where you're like, well, I'm just going to sit here and think for a while, or just going to sit here and wait till the next thought drops into my head,
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic luxury in this world to have that space to do that,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is a fantastic. I mean, I love my solitude. Like I can happily go many days without talking to anybody. So like, not everybody is wired that way. We need different levels of interaction, and of course, we have our Zoom work and our clients and everything too, which is interacting with people. But I have been really needing to not have any physical energy around me, to just be in my own energy for a little while, which has been really valuable. And I've had a couple of people show up recently, Lou, who have been experiencing solitude to the degree that it's painful for them.
Yeah.
And what I've been seeing, what Spirit has been telling me is there's a real up-leveling happening for people who are experiencing a lot of solitude right now. It is absolutely by divine design, and there's an expansion of energy. So if this resonates for you, grab hold of it, take it.
Yes,
but for anybody who's listening,
I'm liking the sound of this so far. Yeah.
So there's when you're around people a lot, you get to like sort of a threshold of expansion. So like if you live with people, if you live with roommates or significant other, so for people who are needing to expand their energy into this new golden age, that's being stripped away, and there's fear and there's some emotional stuff coming up around that expansion. It's less about the solitude itself and more about the energetic expansion that is happening as a result of that solitude.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. No, it really does.
Yeah.
It really does.
If you're out there and you're experiencing, people are not working, people are, living alone, parts of the world are still on really strict lockdown. And that's a struggle, if that's a struggle right now, Spirit says to really, again, I'm going to take it back to get present, pull your energy into yourself, get present, get in the moment. It just takes a few moments of being truly present to transform everything. It's when we are fighting what is that we are suffering. If we can get into radical acceptance of this moment, even if it's painful, even if it's the solitude feels unbearable, the loneliness feels unbearable, you will very quickly sink through it, and you'll find that it transforms for you. Now that transformation may be things changing on the outside. It may be suddenly you have more people showing up, or it may be an inner perspective transformation. The truth is, it doesn't matter. The transformation is going to feel good. It's going to make you feel better, and it's going to help you along your path of expanding that energy, expanding into this, I just felt my heart just pop open. You're expanding into the golden age. You're expanding to be a match, a true energetic match for this new paradigm. And that is amazing. And that is necessary because we have work to do. My spirit told me that in the next year, all of us, light worker types are going to get very busy, and we're going to have a purpose. We're going to be more united than we currently are right now. We're going to be more united because the picture is going to be more clear. We're all going to kind of like agree where we haven't agreed. And
Good.
this, whatever you're going through for this next year, whether, it's all working to expand you to be a match for that energy.
Sure, honey. No, Ingrid, that makes perfect sense to me. And it really is, you're expressing really what I've been feeling and what I've said and heard from other teachers. I did 2 interviews yesterday and I listened to a third one. And here we are catching up, which is wonderful as always.
always.
Yeah. But it's like we're saying here, hon, the 2020 was such an ass kicker of a year. Everyone was thrown back on their heels, and we're still crawling our way through this and still waiting to see the light at the end of the tunnel collectively, so it makes perfect sense, that, we do have to be very honest with ourselves, and we do have to be very available. The word that's been coming up in my channelings has been available, humble, vulnerable, and available.
I love
and
that.
It's like, thank you.
Totally resonates. Yeah.
Thank you. So I do feel that in our collective consciousness, light workers and whatnot, that, there is this sense, as you said, look, folks, we really do have a chance to make a difference now because of the dark night of the soul that the world's been going through for 15 months. And why don't we work together in new and wonderful ways and make some money and help some people get free? How does that sound, boys and girls?
Yeah. Spirit says the next year is going to be slow, and that's by design, because all of us light workers are needing that. We're all doing our own work really strongly over the next year, but in like 2022, we're all going to be like, I get this image of focus. Everybody's going to be focused on the same thing. Can you imagine how powerful it's going to be? I mean, think about that. That is amazing. There's a lot of confusion and a lot of division, because Spirit is telling me that none of us have all the information. Right now, we've all got pieces, and a lot of us think we have the whole picture, and we don't. And it's going to be another year before it comes clear for everybody, and we're all able to focus and unite.
Okay, well, good to know. That's why I come to Ingrid Turner, so I can get the picture.
I don't have the whole picture at all. Spirit made that very clear to me. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, baby, but you got a nice perspective, and it's always a pleasure. It's always a joy to tap into that with you here.
Well, and it's a joy to tap into your perspective as well, because it's like, I use that patchwork quilt analogy all the time. I got a piece, you got a piece. We all got pieces, and we get to expand and broaden and understand more. It's not either or, it's and.
Sure.
And time will make it clear how the seemingly opposing and works together, how it coheses.
Yeah.
So we just don't, if Spirit says you don't see it yet. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've been very humbled by Spirit recently. Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm in that club as well. Yeah, but again, it's like, what can I say here? Meeting new friends, as I was mentioning, which I've done here over the last couple months, which has been wonderful. Yeah, and getting to get out and see a bit of the country, from time to time, even in the midst of level 5 lockdown and all that.
Yeah.
And having my own space, so I don't have to debate masks and vaccines every 5 minutes with people. That's a relief. Yeah, that's a joy. Yeah. So, but no, I'm really taking in what you've said about the next couple of years here. I love Patricia Cota-Robles, and I'm doing a lot of her work, and have done for a while. And, basically, we're just digging deeper every week, of course, because the energies are going up, click, 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 every day, and we're all like, oh, all right, where is it now? Is it over here?
Yeah.
Everyone's like surfing the big wave,
Yes.
You know, and try not to fall over too often, but we all do, bless us. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
we're human.
powerful. Go on.
I was just saying, we're human. We get to be human. We're here
Yeah.
for the human experience. So we're gonna mess it up. We're gonna hit walls. We're gonna fall down. We're gonna break down. We're gonna break open. It's all the things that's gonna happen for all of us. And I feel like it behooves us to remember for ourselves, like, hey, Ingrid, like you're having a human experience. Don't be hard on yourself. Love yourself through it, and then extend that compassion out to other people. You know, when especially when they're doing things that we don't agree with, or they're saying things that we don't agree with. Remember two things: we don't have the full picture yet. None of us do, and let's have some compassion for that person's experience and perspective, because we may be able to understand better ourselves, them, and this whole messy experience.
Yes.
Through compassion.
Yes.
For ourselves and others.
That's well said, hon. There's a lady named Dorothy Day, and she started a group in America in the 20th century called the Catholic Worker, which was a political radical service organization. You know, people trying to live as Jesus and feed the hungry.
Oh, wow. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
And on the quote from Dorothy Day is, "I cannot love God more than I love the person I love the least."
Where did I just see that? Did you post that recently?
I may have, or I may have seen it on your page, or I don't know where.
It wasn't mine. I saw that somewhere, and I was like, yes, okay, it must have been on your page. But yeah, love that. Love that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I mean, that's the heart of compassion that you're expressing.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Thank you, honey. And like you're saying about our embracing our humanity and our mortality and our fragility and all the rest of it, you know, it's it strengthens us by making peace with what is, and it deepens us, like you've said so beautifully here, by opening our heart to what is.
Yeah.
You know, and having that tolerance, mercy, compassion, kindness, forgiveness, you know, on tap, available, you know, and that the world is absolutely in great need of that, of course.
Yeah, and that is the matching energy for the new paradigm. So we are there, but we are shaking off in a very chaotic way, profound way, what is not a match for that energy.
Yeah. That's right. Groovy.
It's an amazing time to be alive.
It's a wonderful time to be alive. Absolutely. Let's count our blessings. Great, honey. Well, have I taken enough of your time for one morning?
I feel really good. I feel amazing. This has been great, Lou. I'm really glad to jump on and do this with you, be a part of everything Lou.
Thank you. Ingrid and Lou rides again. That's all I have to say about it.
Yes, Ingrid and Lou ride again. We'll do this more. We will keep doing this more because this feels really good. Thank
Beautiful,
you,
honey.
I love you.
I love you too, darling. Thanks so much.
Have my heart.
enjoy your blazing, searing Arizona sunlight. I know you will.
Yes.
Yeah. Send me some. Yeah. Bless you.
Definitely.
All right, honey. I'll let you go. Where do people find you? Do your two minute.
My website is ingridhturner.com. Don't forget the H in the middle. You can also find me on Facebook, Ingrid H. Turner on Facebook. I'm on all the places, Instagram, YouTube. I'm on TikTok, which I'm actually having a lot of fun with.
Good. Yes, I've seen some of those. Yeah.
Yeah. So
good.
I'm all over the place. You just search for Ingrid H. Turner on just about any platform. I'm not on Pinterest. I cannot get behind that. But you know, anywhere else you can find me. So please do. I'd love to connect with you.
Groovy. Thank you. And you can find me at Awakened Spirits Network on YouTube or Facebook, or Lou Martin on Facebook. And with that, my friend, blessings, peace, and we'll talk again soon. All right, darling?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Much love.
Much love.
Cheers.